Tell the story about your marathon, since I've heard it, but they haven't heard it. Your marathon.
I mean, it got trashed before the marathon. The night before the marathon, I got, you know what I mean?
The night before the marathon, you got trashed.
Yeah.
And then you ran, what, 26 miles?
Yeah, 26.2.
Did you have a hangover?
I didn't really sleep much. I didn't necessarily have like a crazy hangover.
Yeah. But you didn't get.
But I also didn't really sleep much. I mean, so that was those two are mixed. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So when you say trash, how much did you actually drink? If you can remember.
Yeah. Man, it's been a while since the last. That was in 2016. So I don't remember exactly how much. I know I was in like the DC area. And, I went to like a bar, and I mean, had a few drinks beforehand, and then went to the bar afterwards, like a little club, like a bar club, you know. But it's been some time, so I can't remember exactly. But I remember I paid for it afterwards. You know,
did you?
I remember.
So were you just overconfident about being able to run a marathon that you were like, I could drink and run a marathon, or were you just not?
I think.
What was the decision making going into the bar? We're like, I have a marathon tomorrow, but I want to drink.
Yeah.
So how did that come about?
I didn't necessarily. I think the marathon definitely like humbled me.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm like, okay, you know what I mean, like only 26 miles.
Only 26 miles.
Yeah, right. So I didn't necessarily like hype it up. I was like, okay, I'll do the marathon, whatever. I didn't necessarily think I knew I was gonna finish, but I didn't necessarily have a set time that I was gonna finish in. But I knew I was gonna be able to like run 26 miles. But I would say after running it, it definitely humbled me.
Right.
And I started off like super strong, and then there's like a mix of adrenaline because of, you know, there's a bunch of people out there, you know, they have a bunch of stations out there, so it's like good energy, good vibe, if you will, you know.
Right.
And so started super strong. Did like probably like the first had the half marathon, like was on a very good pace, you know.
Right.
And then after mile 20, that's kind of when everything hit. Yeah. So those last 6 miles were like the worst.
The worst miles of your life?
Yeah. My whole body just like cramped up.
So you were young at the time though, right?
Yeah.
How old were you?
I was,
25?
I would say about 25, yeah.
So you're still like in your physical prime.
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely still in my. Yeah.
Could you do that right now? Could you run a marathon and drink before?
Absolutely, I could. I wouldn't want to, but I think I could.
You won't want to?
Yeah. So all those small things that kind of are important in a relationship to kind of keep that spark going a lot of time, especially with kids, man. And it's easier said than done, like, because between your kid, between work, between bills and life and stress, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, fuck, I don't got time for this. You know what I mean? It's like, you tell yourself you don't have time for it, but the reality is you do have time for it. But sometimes you're not going to want to make time. But just like you got to clock in at work, sometimes you got to clock in at home too. You know what I mean? And sometimes that means sacrificing. I mean,
so
things that you don't want to do
to
ensure that the relationship, you know what I mean?
It all goes back to what you said, relationships at work, huh?
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't like relationship focused like they used to be. Because a real pretty girl in the 90s, she probably had 2 or 3 kids by the time she was like 22, man. You know, and a really pretty girl now, she's trying to start a company. And then a good looking guy now, he might not have 4 or 5 kids. He might be starting a business. So it's like a whole different age we live in.
Which I don't necessarily think it's completely a bad thing. I mean, so.
But it's definitely a change.
Yeah.
All right, like, subscribe, and all that good stuff.